more in deeply on energy dependence for per main fossil commodities, here we have from 1995 to 2022, unfortunately, many of our data stopped 2022 simply because we use Eurostat data, which is the only way to compare European countries. So I'm sorry, but in any case, I don't think that 1 year changed a lot the picture, but we have a great picture. I mean, more than 20 years, 20 years more or less. So what we see is that Croatia is more dependent on fossil energy import than the average. I mean, if we consider coal, oil and gas, we see that Croatia has a level of dependence of import higher than the total national EU average. The greatest dependence is on solid fossil fuel, which is more or less 100%, totally dependent. It's interesting to see the gas, which is the green line. I mean, despite increased Croatian natural gas production, which is quite positive, also internal consumption has grown, and this is the reason why, I mean, this is the consequence of the fact that Croatia reached the peak of 71% dependence on gas import in more or less 2021, also if 2022 was a little bit better. At the end of the day, it is thanks, because we should look on the other side of what these numbers means. The other side is that at the end of the day, it's thanks to the Croatian renewable production that the average level of energy dependence is only, we can say, 58% and not higher. Otherwise, for fossil energy. Our report in chapter 2 analyzed the Croatia energy mix primary supply in coherence with what we have seen so far. Croatia total primary energy supply showed a predominance of fossil sources amounting 67% of total, including solid fossil fuel, natural gas, and oil. The share of oil is around 37%, is the brown part of the pie. Then we have the gas, 25% for the fossil side. But what I want to underline is the renewable, which is the orange part of the pie, which are growing, now are around 27% of the total mix. And if we look at the composition mix, which is the second pie of renewable total primary energy supply, we see the strong role of biofuel, followed by hydropower, 21%, wind, 8.3%, and all other resources. We know that a large part of the primary energy supply is for the electricity production. So what we have seen so far is the total energy. But electricity is quite important for, I mean, every kind of activity. So let's focus a little bit on electricity production. 63% of electricity production of the country comes from renewable sources, which is a quite important information, that the country is moving toward the decarbonization, and specifically 38% from hydropower and 15% from wind. If we make the comparison between 2015 and last data 2022, as I said, we see interesting evolution. We see, for example, hydropower, which is still important, but a little less important than as it was in 2015. 38%, it was 56%. Of course, hydropower also depends year by year by the climate situation. Wind has gone from 7% to 15%, and there is a positive trend. And also biofuel I mean, biofuel for electricity production has gone from 2% to 8%. And thanks to a rich program of investment, we know, and we also heard by the representative of the Ministry of Industry, renewable investment in renewables, the wage of renewables in the electricity mix will go up to 80% in 2030, and up to 90% is expected at least in 2015. This program of investment in renewables is not only important for Croatia per se, I mean for Croatia as a country for domestic energy needs, but also for the role of the country as a key, what we call also in the report, there is a small chapter on that, on the key energy, on the key energy gateway role between Europe, Eastern Europe and the Adriatic Sea. So there is a key geopolitical, we can say, or geoeconomic role for the country, thanks to its position at the crossroad of Central and Eastern Europe. Croatia might become a key energy transit hub for neighboring countries, especially for Hungary, Slovenia, Serbia, Bosnia, playing a crucial role for reducing energy dependence. And we highlight in the report 7 challenges. The first one is upgrading and expanding grid, pipelines and other infrastructures and connecting them, diversifying energy sources and reducing energy import and dependence. This is a target we heard very clear also from the government perspective. Building an integrated energy infrastructures, which is quite important, especially for a country with an important geography, with an important cost side as Croatia is. Integrate renewable energy production into the grid network, which is quite important because sometimes statistics look at the power production, but we need to, and this is also a problem that we have in Italy, to integrate the production into the grid. Developing energy transit infrastructures will require investment also from the private sources, and public and private sources working together is the best solution we see clearly also in other countries in the European Union. Regional cooperation with neighboring countries and balancing, it is also, I think, in a certain way, the sense of both intervention by the government, energy security, what we saw about the dependence, with climate goals, which are sometimes not in the same direction. Because if we look also from the Italian perspective, immediately after the war in Ukraine, what the government did, and it was right to do that, was to move to Algeria and to ask for more fossil fuel. This was for the security reason. So, to balance security and climate goals, which is not always so easy. Italy and Croatia are the main coast goal countries in the Adriatic Sea, and can jointly play a crucial role to secure the Adriatic as a strategic corridor. The Adriatic Sea is a geopolitical crossroad and a strategic corridor. It is thanks to the Adriatic Sea that the Balkans and the Central European countries can benefit from Mediterranean flows, also from the trade, general and global goods of trade,